Live from the snow-buried northern Illinois and a basement in suburban Chicago, it's none other than the JMFPSP Sports Program. Tim Kirshnick here, along with Ryan Hartson.
Hi.
And we're having a little disagreement before we went on the air, Ryan. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, we want to talk about the Super Bowl. And I said, you know what, let's start off topical. Let's talk about the two big issues that are in the Super Bowl. And in my opinion, the two big issues involve the quarterbacks. It's Aaron Rodgers' non-existent relationship with Brett Favre, and it's Ben Roethlisberger's redemption story. And I say redemption story, and you get all up in my grill. It's apparent, according to you, it's not a redemption story. So I'll let you go first. What is your opinion of Ben Roethlisberger?
Well, I view him as a rapist, but
why?
Because he is. I agree with it that it's also a redemption story, and they were talking on the Onion Sports Storm the other day that
the Onion is total bullshit.
I know, but it's pretty accurate because they said if Ben Roethlisberger wins the Super Bowl, then he will not be considered a rapist anymore, and that title will be lifted from him. And Michael Vick, who did not win his divisional playoff against the wild card playoff against the Packers, is still considered a mindless dog fighting moron.
Vic?
Yeah.
Is that your opinion of Vic?
No, that's not my opinion.
It's other people's opinion. Stupid people's opinion.
I've forgiven Michael Vick.
As have I.
I took probably not. It took less time than most other people. But
yeah, me too. As soon as he got out of prison, I was hoping that he would be successful. Yeah. I was like, it wasn't like, oh my God, he's really good, now I forgive him. There was substance to it. All right, he's out of prison, he's done his time. Let's give him a shot. Right, which he clearly did. He's all like Christian and shit now. And he's there, he's on the Humane Society's payroll. Now, the Roethlisberger thing isn't to that extent. Mm-hmm. I think it's more fake with him. I think I mentioned this on one of the Ryan Hartson shows I did, was that it's just he seems a little, his redemption, if you will, is a little more phony to me. Like, I don't think he really has changed that much. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm not going to call him a rapist because he was never arrested. All he was suspended by the league. Yeah. No legal charges, and everything's still kind of alleged. It could have been consensual. Could have been like, hey, do you want to fuck me in the bathroom? Yeah, totally want to fuck you in the bathroom. So they went into the bathroom and did what had to be done in a stall, which is very romantic.
Yeah, well, right.
Or it could have been, come here, bitch.
As she's saying it was.
And it was total rape. But, I think both of us has been in situations where women have accused us of stuff that hasn't happened.
Keep your hands off your own food.
That wasn't what I was referring to.
That's what comes to my mind.
My situation was a little more grotesque than that. Don't really care to share at all on the air at this time.
Okay, but that's an off-air topic then.
Right, it's not even an off-air topic. That shit stays with me.
Well, just as Ben Roethlisberger is off the field, right?
Right.
So
and he I think it was his media. I've got an article here on NFL.com that looks like it's from Media Day, when they were asking him questions. So, do you want to talk about like redemption and what a great story this is? And he was like, "No, you know what? I don't think this is the right time to reflect. I think I have to get ready for the game." Yeah. So he doesn't really want to reflect on the situation, which I guess is the smart thing to do. You want to keep your head on straight to get ready for the Super Bowl. But at the same time, I'll ask you, is this a redemption story, or is this just kind of, I think it's kind of phony, but that's just me.
Well, I think it is kind of a redemption story, because, he's been successful before, and, he was kind of, like at the beginning of the year, people were just like, well, the Steelers are going to be able to rebound from this, and I think it will be a redemption, a good cap to the redemption story if they are able to get to the top this year and kind of prove all the naysayers wrong, just as Michael Vick has done.
Right, but I think people have to understand, for me, I separate what people do on the field and what happens between the sheets, if you will, or I guess between the stalls in his situation. But, because I love watching Roethlisberger play. I think he's fantastic, and as a Packer fan, I'm absolutely terrified going into this game. Like, I woke up this morning, and I was like, now I'm nervous. I wasn't nervous before, but now it's starting to get close, and I'm starting to get nervous about the game. And, because he is just such a threat. What he does late in games.
Yeah.
This is going to I can just see this coming down.
Oh, yeah.
A minute and a half to go, ball in his hands, and Charles Woodson has to make a play.
Uh-huh.
Can it happen? It is just, his story is very, very interesting. And, I've heard people call him a pedophile because this has happened multiple times. And that this might be kind of a sociopathic kind of a guy, that he might be doing this for a little more sinister than I'm drunk and I need to rape something.
Yeah. I've known kids I know one kid who does that. He actually attends my school. He stalks women and is actually gotten himself suspended from both the track and cross country teams.
Well, that's very strange.
So yeah, I mean, there's people out there like that. So
I just can't decide if I like him or not. Like, I like watching Big Ben play, but at the same time, like, I'm not a big fan of sexual assault.
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee it wasn't consensual. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to call him a rapist.
He could just be looking for money, right?
Right. And that's what happened with Jen Sturger and the Favre thing.
Yeah.
Those texts might not have even happened. I like to think that they did because it's just the funniest thing.
Yeah.
The Favre sexting thing made me laugh. Like, pretty much the only other thing that made me laugh was the Rex Ryan foot fetish thing, which is currently our most viewed video in the history of BWC.
Yeah.
So.
Well, not including the Jay Cutler thing.
But that almost doesn't. That was a different era, man.
Yeah, that was a different era. That was back when we filmed ourselves. And
yeah.
No need to see our white kid faces. Right?
That's true. All right, so let's go to something else, something a little closer to my heart. The Aaron Rodgers versus Brett Favre thing. Mm-hmm. I'll let you go first because this whole situation is Brett Favre he's kind of been hovering around the Packer fans. Like, and people still love Brett and all that nonsense. But Aaron has played so well his first 3 years. Right now he's probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
Right.
And he's made it to the Super Bowl on his own merit, and it's had nothing to do with Brett.
Yeah.
But it's kind of brought up what Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre's relationship was like. And it reminds me of the media day. The first question Aaron got asked was from Deion Sanders. And the only reason I know this is because I'm kind of a stalker Packer fan. I watch all the press conferences that Aaron Rodgers and Greg Jennings do. I can't watch Mike McCarthy. He's just too boring. Yeah. But anyway, Deion Sanders asked him, so Aaron, did you call Brett or did Brett call you in preparation for the Super Bowl? And Aaron was just like, no. That was just a one-word answer. No. So obviously there's no relationship. So I'll ask you, from what you saw in 2008, what do you think Brett and Aaron, what do you think their relationship was like as quarterback and backup quarterback / quarterback of the future?
Oh, that's pretty interesting because I was reading that article you showed me earlier, and it was talking about Aaron Rodgers, and he said, I got to be the backup to one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and he talked about the effect that it had on him studying the offense. And I think it helped him for that season. It
has to. I mean, for 3 years to be around arguably one of the 10 best quarterbacks ever, that has every statistical feat that you could possibly accomplish in the game, including interceptions. Mm-hmm. That's why Aaron doesn't throw picks, is because he saw Brett Favre throw interceptions for 3 years. Yeah. Because Aaron's first year in the league was when Brett Favre threw the most interceptions of any quarterback in a single season ever. I believe it's 26. Yeah. So
maybe he learned from his mistakes.
Exactly. Right? That's the idea, and that's why he's more accurate. That's why his footwork is better. And just the things that I think it was more the things Brett couldn't do is what Aaron learned from.
Yeah.
And you can see that kind of that gunslinger thing when Aaron runs around, and Corey talked about it either on this show or on my show, where Corey was like, when you watch Aaron play, it's like throw, no run, no run, no throw, no throw, no run. And then at the end, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're always satisfied with the result because he's such a good player. And I think that's what he learned from Brett, because it was the exact same thing. I remember watching a play in that crazy playoff game against Seattle when it was snowing like hell.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching Brett, and he goes on and he slips and he's tripping and he kind of throws it sideways to Donald Lee, and it's a completion and a first down. That's the kind of stuff that I think Aaron watched, and he was like, man, I can do that. He ended up doing. So it was like, that was the working relationship. Outside of that, I don't think they liked each other.
I don't think
Brett's a crazy old redneck from Mississippi, and Aaron chills on the beach in California in the off-season. And they're completely different people. I mean, Brett was like, hey, Aaron, you like hunting? And Aaron was like, no. I like watching sunsets on the beach, and I like drinking fine wine and dating supermodels. Fuck you. And I think there was a hatred there.
Yeah, I think
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Aaron liked Brett. I don't think Brett liked Aaron. He was like, that boy gonna replace me someday. I don't like him. And Aaron was like, old guy sucks.
Right, yeah.
Like just behind closed doors. Obviously they were cordial to each other.
Oh yeah.
And all that, but I think at the end of the day, Aaron is very happy. No one looked more relieved than Aaron Rodgers when the Packers were able to beat the Vikings the first time. Against, it was in Lambeau, a Sunday night game earlier this year. Just Aaron was like, It was just total relief that he could finally get over this hump and beat this old man. Then he goes up to Minnesota and he plays arguably the best game he played all year, except maybe the crazy playoff game where he just throws for 1,000,000 yards right in front of Brett Favre's face. And there's nothing he can do about it because he sucks. And he's old and he's done. Oh. I'm totally on Aaron Rodgers' side. I'm all in with Aaron now. Just like, I might be the only Packer fan that's completely forgotten about Brett. Yeah. I'm so over Brett Favre because I hated him for 3 years when he was a Viking. I didn't hate him when he was a Jet. I hated him when he was a Viking.
Oh yeah,
and all the sexting stuff made me laugh. Because you go over there and you play for the bad guys. That's the fan in me. You go over there and you play for the other team that I can't stand. I hate the Vikings more than the Bears, and that was probably just because of Brett. And now that he's gone, it'll go back to being the Bears because we just got done playing a playoff game against them and all that. Yeah. But, just the whole Brett versus Aaron thing it's an interesting dynamic, but at the end of the day it has nothing to do with the Super Bowl. And neither does the rape. Yeah. Roethlisberger's sexual assault stuff. None of this has anything to do with the Super Bowl. And,
the big topics, you're just completely overlooking both of them. Then?
Well, yeah. By the way, Roethlisberger went to a piano bar with a bunch of his teammates and got wasted. $800 bar bill. Wow. And he was singing Bad Billy Joel at a piano bar. That's the whole story. It was pretty interesting to me. All right, what are we doing next, Tim? I'm excited.
Well, next we're going to be breaking down the Super Bowl with X's and O's to the best of our ability and the resources that we have down in our basement.
All right.
This is the Dream of Present Sports Program
on BWC Internet Radio.